Hello, welcome to Let's Talk Sports with Rick. My good friend Jack, he's not here in the studio with me today. As you can see, I'm on my own. Uh-oh, be careful. It could be a shaky show without Jack. But Jack's out in New York on a family trip and vacation for about a month, so I'll be holding it down in the studio, and Jack will be coming in to you from his lovely home that he has in New York. He has a couple of homes around the world. He's, a very famous guy, so this broadcasting stuff has made him tons of money, and then he's you fill in for The Rock on the rough scenes on all the rock movies. He's the guy. So this guy Jack is very famous. I'm just a guy who that talks and knows a lot about sports. Jack, how are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well, sir.
I'm shouting like you can hear me. I'm shouting across the ocean all the way to New York. What's going on, brother?
It's all right. It's a little hot here. I guess we're getting a heat wave. I brought the heat from Vegas, so.
You're on the island over there? Where are you at? New York, New Jersey, White Plains? Where are you at?
In Westchester.
Westchester, very close to White Plains.
Yeah.
Well, enjoy your vacation. Stay safe. The kids having a good time?
Yes, they are.
Yeah. Thank you all for watching. And again, thank you for your patience. We have our vacation time too. I'll have one later in the month, but Jack is away with his family, but he was so kind to tune into these shows because he wouldn't let me do a show alone because I might be too one-sided, particularly, about some of these events that we talk about, like the women's sport that's going on. Let's talk a little women's sports. I really was touched by women's sports this last weekend. And, one of the things that touched me, Jack, was the WNBA. I find it a fine league of a bunch of hardworking, fine women that have a great message. But I was reading where 99% of those players are vaccinated. What a commitment. What a commitment to health and sending a message and just being good women. But what were your thoughts on that? 99% of those WNBA women are vaccinated.
Well, the thing is, it's more along they're committed to basically trying to prevent and getting it, and then also to preserve their sports. Because guess what? If you have an outbreak, then you'll end up, the sport will end up getting games will get canceled. Like you had that one college team where they were so infested with it, or college softball,
college World Series,
baseball, yeah. World Series, and they basically had to forfeit the game because they were infested with COVID. Yeah. So I understand they want to make sure that their season is preserved and it plays out, and you got to commend them for doing that.
I agree. That to me is talking the talk and walking the walk. And that's one thing I really see about the WNBA and women's basketball, besides the fact that it's a very good league and some incredible players. I enjoy watching the game. There's a couple of really good teams this year: Connecticut, Seattle, of course, the Vegas Aces. Those to me are the three top teams. Chicago plays well when Candace Parker plays, but it's fun watching it. Along the lines of women, a couple other things touched me. I had the opportunity to watch Allison Felix, of course, the great Olympian. For many years, she was vying to be in her 5th Olympic. She qualified in the women's 400. And I got to give props and kudos to Allison Felix. She has her own family now, and she's going to be going to her 5th Olympics. I mean, that's pretty awesome.
Well, that's also, not only is it, commitment to her sport herself, but obviously to represent the United States, and it's awesome to see that.
Yeah, she has just been a wonderful example of women's track and field, and always done well. And I remember her back all the way at her days at USC. I mean, that's how far I remember watching her run. And she's won some gold medals and silver medals and been very instrumental in relay teams in the Olympics. But she's going to be in the 400, and that's fantastic. And staying on that subject, how about Simone Biles? Did you have a chance to look at her at the gymnastics, the women's gymnastics qualifying over the weekend? She, again, did her thing and, won the event, and, of course, is going to what? It's her 5th Olympics, right?
Yeah, and it's actually unusual for her, for her age to be in her sport. It's, basically she should be retired or coaching at this point, but she's still competing, still breaking records. And, one of the things that she made a mistake over the weekend.
Yeah, that was something to see.
She was so hard on herself. And it's crying. Not beating up that I should have done better. For me, it's I should have done better for my fans. The fans
Exactly.
that come here to watch, I did not do, I did not perform like I should have for them. I was like, wow.
Yeah, it was a wow moment. It was like so heartwarming to see somebody because I was like you. I saw her fall and then I saw her go to the, sideline and she was crying and crying for a while. And I thought, wow, why would somebody like that cry as good as they are? That mistakes happen. Everybody makes mistakes and, get over it. But then they asked her, why were you crying? And it was like, because of my fans, I let my fans down. And I was like, they came here to see me. They paid good money to see me. They traveled to see me, and I let them down. And I was like, so many athletes, great athletes, are so egotistical, they could care less about the fan. They care about themselves, and they're
Kawhi
upset
Leonard?
because they look bad in the public eye because they fell. No, she wasn't upset about that. She was upset because she let her fans down. Man, that's what I mean. I love these women in sports, and kudos to her. Also, a good friend and a good friend to tennis, Serena Williams had a big blow yesterday. I mean, the queen of women's tennis, the best ever. Serena Williams is a competitor deluxe. I always have looked up to Serena Williams for her competitiveness on the court. She is amazing, an amazing athlete that never quits. To see her go down with that leg injury yesterday and try to come back and not be able to come back, and the tears that flowed from her eyes, it was a very sad moment for people who love to follow Serena and for Serena. What's her future look like, Jack?
I think what is going to happen now is I think she's going to be very selective as far as the tournaments she does play in now, because as she's older, this is when she's going to be more injury prone, or it's going to take a longer time for her to heal. So she has to, she's going to end up limiting her tournaments. It's just a matter of qualifying. That's the big deal. It's not all about because of your name you get the invitation. It's about still playing in enough tournaments to be ranked, to be invited.
Yeah, and to feel relevant. I mean, she has to feel wanted, and she has to feel that she's performing at her best. It literally hurt me because I've been a fan for a long time, and it's funny when you almost feel like you know these players. You've watched them so many times. You've watched them compete so many times. I watched her compete and win and just overcome injuries and will herself to win big events when she's exhausted. But, I'm a big fan, and I was really sorry to see what happened. Also, we had some women's golf over the weekend. Staying on the, subject of women, I like to do that. They're also very instrumental in sports, and, a lot of times, a lot of people don't follow the women's sports, but I tell you what, I want to tell you all, take a moment and watch a few more women's sports. I've been watching more lately since the women's softball championships, and that was fun to watch, and that competitiveness. But I wanted to talk a little bit about women's golf. Nelly Korda, what a champion she is. She won the women's championship, a major. It was her first major. She won by 19 strokes. Lizette Solis came in second, who's also a very good golfer, lost by 19 strokes. Korda is quite a golfer. She leads the women's PGA in total points in points amassed this year by a long way.
What was surprising with me was her dominance. And despite her being so young, she didn't cave. Even when she hit the ball in the water, like you think like, okay, it's downhill from there. Nope, it's just picked up where she left off, and you see the confidence. And then one of the things too, it's her press conference. She is such a humble young lady, and giving thanks to everybody along the way of her journey, and how family is big for her, and the fact is hey, even FaceTime and dad.
Yeah. How about her sister that's a great golfer and does very well on the women's tour and has won a couple of events herself? I mean, what a family. Two great female golfers on the tour, on the women's tour, doing that well.
Well, I believe Daddy was a golfer too from Australia growing up. So, golf is in the DNA of the family. So,
yeah, it's just so much fun. It's just happened to be a weekend and I wanted to bring it up to all of you fans because, again, watch the women's sports. Check it out. See what they're doing. It's a lot of good stuff. The golf I saw some putts and drives that were just incredible in that women's championship this past weekend. And those are a few of the things I wanted to bring up. Were there any events in women's sports that you saw of late that you wanted to bring up before we move on to hockey and your Golden Knights? Go ahead.
Well, it's just in general, especially with the Olympics right now. You've seen as you mentioned it with track and field and stuff. It's I make it a point to support women's sports because if you don't support it, they don't get the views, then it's a sport that eventually die out, and we want to keep it alive. Especially, we have the WNBA right now. They're celebrating 25 seasons, and it's 25 seasons of grinding and trying to be relevant and be out there, and they're growing. So it was awesome. It's awesome to see how competitive they're getting. They used to be the butt of all jokes as far as all you want to watch are layups, and then you see these athletes that are just coming in, dunking, doing some incredible things. And I, like you said, support them, and because if we don't, they won't be around.
Yeah, that's very well put. Thank you. And again, I don't mean to be redundant, but it's like I like to talk about some of the things that I see in sport. It's just not about men's sports. It's very, very enriching to watch some of these women in the attitude and the competitiveness. And it's an equal world now, and everybody should be getting their fair due. And it's just great watching women's sports. And again, all you fans, continue to check it out. Don't go right past it when you see it on TV. Women's swimming and the Olympics is also going to be awesome. There are some great swimmers there. But moving right along, again, kudos to women in sports, and keep going, keep doing great things, and we'll keep watching and praising you. Much praise. I hate to bring up the subject of hockey, my friend. Let's move on to a sensitive subject. What happened to your illustrious star-studded Golden Knights in the playoffs against Montreal, who I said they were going to sweep them? That's how confident I was, as not a great hockey aficionado or a great hockey expert. Just from what I watched, I thought before that series started, it was a done deal. It was going to be Tampa Bay versus the Golden Knights. What happened on the way to the Stanley Cup for the Golden Knights? Please expound on it.
So it's not who you play, it's when you play them. And right now, the Canadians are hot.
More hot to the first game of the Stanley Cup.
Hey, it's one game. One game doesn't decide the series. You still got to win 4, right?
Yeah, Tampa looks awful tough.
I just think that they came out more confident. They put more pressure, and then those we say kids, but those younger skaters, they're pretty good, and
they are.
The way they played last season, they're playing this way now in the playoffs as far as that momentum, and they're playing hot. They're the hot team right now, and they deserve to be where they're at. They were able to win 4 games, and they got another 4 more to win before winning. But despite it, I think Tampa Bay is a better team. But guess what? I thought the Golden Knights were better than them, and look where they are now. Golden Knights are on vacation.
Yeah, it's interesting to me, Jack, because the Golden Knights really look like the epitome of a fine hockey team that was well-rounded to me as we advanced in the playoffs. I mean, they beat a very good, Minnesota team. Beat a very good Minnesota team in the first round. Then they went on to beat a very good Colorado team that a lot of people predicted would be the Stanley Cup champions. Montreal, it got weird because those young kids, and there was a comment that they have 3 young men on that ice that are under 21 years old. That kid Caulfield had a great series. He's 20 years old. The Golden Knights just couldn't put the puck in the net. And Price was great for Montreal. But it's so interesting to me because he held the Knights down. He did an incredible job. After that series was over against the Knights, they said he is the best goalie on the planet. And this is what's amazing about sport. All I heard on the networks, they beat the Golden Knights 4-2. Price is the best goalie on earth.
Tampa Bay said different.
In the first game of the series against Tampa Bay, they lost 5-1. And I will tell you this, Tampa Bay picked up their game. I don't know if they thought it was not that tough. I mean, the Islanders played them very, very tough. But Tampa Bay, whenever they need to win and pick it up and start banging on people, I was shocked in that opening game. I mean, we got 7 games to play, and as we know, the Golden Knights beat the Canadians in the first game, and they ended up losing the series. But Tampa Bay, the way they leaned on Montreal and was hitting them against those boards and just checking them and playing really rough, tough hockey. Tampa, to me, looked like they picked it up. Didn't they look like they picked it up a notch to you?
Yeah, I think they it's almost like they learned their lesson with the Islanders and not putting not letting go any pressure. If you continue to pressure them on the offense and make sure that the goalie works.
Yeah, and again, Tampa's got a great goalie. When they started talking about Price being the best goalie on earth, the Montreal goalie, I started thinking, oh, okay, well, this Tampa Bay goalie will have something to say about that because he's a very proud guy, and I think he's the best goalie in the league. But it's funny, all this talk about the great goalies. Your man in the Golden Knights Fleury won the award as the best goaltender this year. First time,
Yeah,
great for him. First time, great for him for Fleury.
And to
36
be honest,
years old.
I didn't think he was actually going to win it because of the competition that he had. But you know what? I think it's one of those. Throughout his years, he's probably been the best goalie, but he never got the award, and now he got it.
I was really happy
Despite,
for him.
I don't even think he's the best.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's got a backup there. What's going to happen? They're both great goalies. Are they both going to be with the Knights next year?
Yes. Here's the thing. With Fleury be aging, you need a great backup right behind him, and they're going to need that because before that they didn't. He wasn't a good backup. So, I would say he wasn't a reliable backup. Whereas now with Leonard, he has a reliable backup. So he's not going to be able to play as much as he used to. And barring injury, the team wants to always compete, and that's the entire premise of getting a good backup is to be able to always be competing for a championship.
Yeah, Fleury's going to be 37 next year.
Yep.
And I guess he's going to play again. I don't know. I mean, he's getting to that point where he's probably thinking about retiring, but he had a great year. The Knights had a great year. They were that close. We wish them well. Tampa Bay, Montreal, let's hope the series picks it up a little bit. If it continues like it did the other night, they play again tonight. I hope it gets a little more competitive. It wasn't not a competitive first game for the Stanley Cup, and I hate to see a 4-game sweep. I'd like to watch some more hockey.
Yeah, absolutely. You wanted to, of course, as fans, we're selfish. We wanted for it to go to Game 7.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was great against the Islanders in Tampa Bay. 7 games, that was fun.
So, are we going to talk about baseball?
Well, we'll talk a little bit about baseball. I just wanted to quickly say we're enjoying the hockey playoffs. Great season, Golden Knights. I wanted to stop for a moment. I wanted to hesitate for a moment and acknowledge our fans. We had some record numbers last week on this particular show, on our sports show. It was really well received last week, and I know you know this, Jack, and we talked about it, but our numbers are going up. Our fan base is incredible. We continue to grow. We haven't had this show for that long. It's been about a year. It'll be a year in August. And with our NFL and NBA shows, the other shows we do, we've been on the air for about a year, and it's really starting to blossom, and some great things are happening. And I wanted to stop and thank our audience, our fans. We are, from the bottom of our hearts, Jack and I are very, very grateful for your viewing and your ideas. And, continue to get with us, like us, watch us at all the different social media places you do. We thank you. And yes, we are going to talk about baseball now. Thank you, fans.
Thank you.
Baseball?
What how are you feeling as a Dodger fan right now, how they're playing, because I maybe a couple weeks ago, you're like, are they basically going in reverse? And how do you feel now as a Dodger fan?
It's funny. One of my friends hit me up the other night on Sunday, and he was like, should I bet on the Dodgers tonight? Or should I bet on the Cubs? And I said, well, Kershaw's pitching. The Dodgers the comment I said is the Dodgers are kind of warm right now. I said they're playing good baseball. They had a tough series against San Diego, but I think that series woke them up. And all of a sudden, you know, the Cubs came in. They won 3 out of 4. They did win that game Sunday, and I knew they would. I knew they were going to win that game. I think they won 7-1. And my friend, you know, I gave him out four basketball games in a row to bet on that he made money on. I told him bet all his money on the Dodgers Sunday night. The Sunday night game was the game of the week. And he said, no, I think the Cubs are going to win. I said, bro, you're on your own. Do whatever you want to do. But the Dodgers got warm. The Dodgers beat the Giants 2 in a row. Now the Dodgers are only 1.5 games out of first place. The Giants are starting to falter. They're having some injuries. Their fine young player, Yastrzemski, out in right, he didn't play last night. He fouled the ball off his knee. The Padres, you know, the Padres are back and forth. They play good and they don't play good. But the thing I see about the Dodgers is more than anything, their pitching staff is picking it up. And I'm telling you, they got some good pitchers on that staff. When you think about Kershaw, Bauer, Buehler, those are three of the top 10 pitchers in baseball. Buehler's a great pitcher. People don't understand. That kid is young. He is a great pitcher. He's really their go-to guy. Bauer was Cy Young Award winner with Cincinnati last year. And, of course, Kershaw, he's getting up there in years, but he still can do it. He can still pitch well. He pitched well the other night. So to answer your question, I think the Dodgers are really picking it up with the bats, but more than anything, they're picking it up with pitching, and the relief has been great. Kenley Jansen is having a record year. He's had some up and down years out of the bullpen. Their saver. Jansen has done a great job. But to answer your question, I think the Dodgers are going to get real hot now, and they'll be in first place probably by the 15th of August. Maybe sooner, because they're only 1.5 games out of first, and the Padres continue to go down a little bit.
I honestly think by our next show, the Dodgers are going to be in number 1.
Well, that's a week from now, so you're probably right. You're the one who told me be patient with the Dodgers. You told me that last week. You thought that they were going to start heating up and it was going to change, and sure enough, the last 5-6 games they've played very well. I think they've gone 5-1 in their last 6 games. Yeah, that's correct. And so they're picking it up. But who else is? To me, and you're over there in New York. I mean, what's the buzz about the Yankees? I mean, their own general manager, Cashman, came out and said, we are as bad as it gets. We are a pitiful team, and we are really bad. I mean, what's the buzz in New York about the Yankees? What's going on with that team?
It's actually quiet about the Yankees because they don't. I guess it's when they're winning, that's when everybody is on the bandwagon. Everybody's talking about how great they are. When they're losing, nobody really talks about them. And of course, this is a Yankee town, so despite the Mets being in first place, they don't care.
Yeah, the Yankees are nothing for so many fans, and there's Mets fans out there, but the Mets continue to play good ball. I like the Mets. I like their pitching staff. They have Lindor is a great leader. He's been a good addition to that team. Like all ball players, they overpay him, but he's done well. The Mets are playing good. Another one that's starting to concern me a bit is the White Sox. They're getting a lot of injuries. They've got a couple of starters out now. Another guy got hurt last night. I think their third baseman got hurt last night. So the White Sox it's kind of iffy what's going to happen. But, they're playing okay. Oakland's played well. Houston, what did they win, 11 in a row?
Yeah.
Hated Houston.
Going back to the White Sox, I think the White Sox are in the Dodgers situation earlier this month where they because of injuries, they weren't playing that well. I think with the White Sox, they just need to weather the storm for the next couple of weeks, at least until after the All-Star game.
All-Star break coming up quick, 2 more weeks.
Huh?
All-Star game is coming up quick, couple more weeks.
Yeah, so that's all they need. Just play 500 ball till then, and they'll be fine. They just need the time to get their injured players back on the field.
Astros are playing great ball.
They're one of my surprise. Them, and I would say even like a Milwaukee are my 2 surprises of the season. I was not expecting that.
Yeah, Milwaukee's playing great ball. I mean, and they're starting to get a gap between them and the Cubs. The Cubs haven't been playing that well the last week. The Dodgers kind of put them on a bad course. Who's playing well, continues to play well as a team you've talked about a lot is Oakland. Oakland continues to play well. And, as we said, the Dodgers are picking it up. Tampa Bay, very consistent ball club, man. Tampa Bay continues to play good baseball.
There with Boston. Boston
also.
Boston right now, they don't have a chance to. They don't have any. They don't have time to falter at all.
No.
They can't afford to play 500 ball. They need otherwise. Tampa Bay's just going to run with it.
Tampa Bay's keeping the pressure on them, and Tampa Bay's a fine ball club. Again, they were in the World Series last year. I think they're probably going to be in the World Series again this year, probably against the Dodgers again, I think. But Tampa Bay's a fine ball club that is very, very well managed. That's a good organization. And it's very interesting. You know, I was thinking about this the other day. Tampa Bay all of a sudden won a sports town. You know, I mean, last year, Tampa Bay Lightning wins the Stanley Cup. Super Bowls won by the, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I mean, it's great. The baseball club continues to play well. The Lightning play well. It's like I think that the Buccaneers are going to have another great year. So Tampa Bay has become a great sports town.
Yeah, it's in a sense like they remind me of Boston, where when you're committed to winning, it spills over. So it spills over to all the other sports, and here we are. It's they're worried about what jacket to wear. Whether or not they're going to wear their championship, Super Bowl championship jacket, or are they going to wear their Stanley Cup championship jacket? That's their biggest problem.
Yeah, it's a nice town. It's a great area to live. So kudos to them and their great run in sports. Give me a couple of ball players that you've enjoyed watching. A couple of baseball players that are either hitting it out of the park or pitchers. Give me 2-3 guys you really enjoy watching in Major League Baseball this year that are making an impact on you.
One player. I'll give you two. The pitcher, maybe I'm just being a homer on him. Is Jacob deGrom. It's just fascinating that
great year.
You have all these pitchers that are complaining about the grip and this and that, and he just continues to go out there. Granted, this season for him is more. He seemed a little injury prone, which for me that's his whole career. But he's still, when he's on the mound, he's doing some stuff that he shouldn't be. Like, I'm just impressed at times.
Yeah, he's been a superstar.
And still, like, his fastball, I think it got faster.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then another one is I would say Tatis, and that's just because of his attitude towards the game. I think he's ruffling feathers as far as what's old school and tradition to just having fun playing baseball. And he's having fun playing baseball, and I like it. And the old get off my lawn kind of guys and all these unwritten rules. I'm over it, and he's showing you that kind of like this next generation, they're over those unwritten rules too.
Right.
Like, if it's not on the rule books, let's go out there, have fun, and
yeah, and there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, it's insulting sometimes when you're dancing around the bases and doing your little dance at third base and all that. But a lot of the players, they think they're being showed up.
How many can hit a home run?
Well,
when you do, why not be happy about it? Why not celebrate?
That's a question for them, because me personally, I've never hit any home runs, so I don't know how to act when, to go around the bases. But I just kind of think that what it comes down to is showing other players up. Yeah, always have fun in baseball. Hey, have the best time. The sport needs more fun and more fans to be enthusiastic, because the game, their attendance goes down every year. But I think there comes a point where you're showing up players on the other team, and I think that's absolutely incorrect. That's not the way to play baseball. As I always tell people, act like you've been in the end zone before.
Okay, but you're in. So you're right along there with the old get off my lawn then.
No, that's not it at all. I'm with the respect crowd. I'm with the respect the game crowd.
Where's it disrespecting? There's no disrespect. The guy did what he was supposed to do. He went up there and hit a home run. The guy hit that 3-point shot, so they shouldn't celebrate.
Okay. How many other players you see
realize
doing it?
Everybody else now is fist bump?
How many other players you see doing it? Dancing around the bases? A couple now because of him.
Why you celebrate, then dance.
Yeah, but anyways, we're close to wrapping up the show. This has been a quick show today. You're wrong as usual, but I'm a traditionalist. But I wanted to mention a couple guys since you took all my time. Hey, give me a little time to talk about my two guys. Come on, man. Gee whiz, you're away. You got some rest in New York. You're all fired up. I want to mention a couple guys before we have to go. It's, our time is up here today. It just goes so fast. Again, thank you all for watching. But a couple guys, Guerrero Jr., Vlad Guerrero Jr. has been amazing. He's leading that Toronto team, banging those home runs. What is it, 26, 27 now? And Shohei Ohtani with the Angels, what an athlete. He goes out on the mound and pitches well. And then he's got a great batting average and hits home runs, and he's trying to get the Angels back in the race. It's tough. They don't have much of a team. They're under 500, but Ohtani has been amazing. To me, he's the MVP of baseball, period, right now. But those are the two guys that I've been watching that really have made an impact. Guerrero and Ohtani, man, those guys are great ball players. And again, bangers that don't act a fool when they run around the bases. But Tatis is a spirited guy. I have nothing against him. But it's time to go. We've run out of time with this show. I can't wait till next week's show and a lot more to talk about. We talked a lot about women's sports, and that's been a lot of fun. And we took the time to do that this week. And I want to thank you all for watching again. Thank you for helping our numbers go up. Jack, thank you for coming into the show and taking your time while you're on vacation in New York with your family. Thank you for taking the 30 minutes. I really appreciate you coming in with our fans because they look forward to seeing you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anything else you want to finish with besides you're wrong? Admit it.
I'm not wrong.
Okay.
It's just thank you guys.
It's a matter of opinion.
And, supporting us on a weekly basis. Hey, keep liking, keep sharing, and we'll keep doing this.
Great. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon. God bless.